Hello dear students. So today we are going to continue our work on the next exercise, that is exercise 3b of shares and dividends. Okay, so before we start, I hope you are familiar with these formulae by now. Yes, so it's now mandatory to know all this formula if you want to do well in the next exercise. Okay, so let's begin our next exercise. So the question says, a man buys 75 rupees 100 shares, paying 9% dividend. So let's try to understand this sentence. So the question says, a man buys 75. 75 means number of shares. Rupees 100 shares means nominal value is rupees 100, paying 9% dividend. Okay, so rate of dividend is given to be 9%. Okay, so he buys shares at such a price such that he gets 12% of his money. Okay, so he buys shares at such a price that he gets 12% of his money. So at what price did he buy the shares? So that means the question is asking, find the market value, because at what price he is buying the shares means the market value of the shares. Okay, so we are going to find that. So before I find that, let us note down what are the things which are given to us. So the first one is number of shares, next is nominal value, and the next one is rate of dividend. Okay, now I'm going to consider, or I'm going to assume my nominal or my market value to be X, market value of one share. Okay, now what you need to remember is, see, you need to remember this thing very carefully. Now here, profit on each market value is equals to dividend on each nominal value. That is, profit on market value of one share. Okay, profit on market value of one share is nothing but your dividend on one nominal value. Yes, okay, so you need to remember this all the time. Okay, so profit on each market value is nothing but 12%, because he says he buys shares at a price such that he gets 12% of his money. So 12% of his money is the profit. Okay, and what is the money? The money is rupees X. So 12% of X gives you profit on market value, because my market value is rupees X. Okay, equals to, now dividend. How much is dividend? It is 9%, and dividend is calculated on nominal value. Okay, so you need to remember these two things. So from here I am going to calculate what is the value of X, because we need the value of X. So from here you'll get X to be equals to 75. So that's why your market value will be rupees 75. Okay, so we'll go to now next question. So next question says, by purchasing rupees 25 gas shares for rupees 40 each. Now let us try to understand the meaning of this first sentence. By purchasing rupees 25 gas shares for rupees 40. That means this is my nominal value and this is my market value. Okay, so after purchasing, what happens? A man gets 4% profit on his investment. So man is getting 4% profit. Okay, so what rate percent is the company paying? So basically they are asking rate of dividend. Okay, and after that you need to find what is the dividend if he buys 60 shares. Okay, so let us begin the problem. So whatever is given, I am just noting down. So as I said, nominal value or face value is given to be 25, market value is given to be 40. Now profit is given to be 4%. Yes, and they are asking us what is the rate of dividend. And as I said, profit on each market value will be equals to dividend on each nominal value. Okay, so what is market value for me? Market value is 40, and what is profit? Profit is 4%. So 4% of 40 will be equals to x% of NV. And what is NV? NV is 25. Okay, so from here I'm going to find the value of x, which is going to be 6.4. Okay, so that's why my rate of dividend is 6.4. So we have found it, our first answer. Now next is, what is the dividend? That is the amount received if he buys 60 shares. Okay, so we know, okay, so we have got rate of dividend to be 6.4% and number of shares is given to be 60. Okay, now we are familiar with this formula. Dividend is equals to number of shares into dividend percent into NV of each share. So we are familiar with this one, and we are asked to find the dividend. Okay, so number of shares is 60, dividend percent is 6.4, and NV is given to be 25. Okay, so if I put the values, then this percentage can be written by 1 by 100. So when you simplify this, you'll get your answer to be rupees 96. Hope the problem is clear to you. We'll pause the video to note down. Okay, next question is, okay, just read the question. Okay, so 100 rupees share, that means 100 rupees share means face value is given to you rupees 100 of a company are available in the market at a premium of rupees 20. So at a premium means my market value is going to be rupees 20 more. So that's why my rupees 20 more gives me rupees 120. So my face value is 100 and my market value is rupees 120. Now let us see what is given. Find rate of dividend. So again we need to find rate of dividend when a man's return on his investment is 15%. Okay, so man's return means it is profit. Okay, so let the rate of dividend, they are asking us rate of dividend, so I'm going to call this to be x%. Okay, and as usual we know that dividend on each NV is equals to profit on each MV. Fine, so dividend on, so what is dividend? It is x% of NV, and what is NV? NV is 100. So x% of 100 is going to be profit. Profit is given to be 15. So 15% of MV. MV is 120. So again from here we'll find the value of x, which turns out to be 18. Now my rate of dividend is 18%. Now next is, okay, so pause the video to note down. So we'll go to the next question, that is question number 4. And since this question is quite easy compared to earlier problems, so, and this is also similar to earlier problems, so you will try by yourself. Okay, let's see this question. So question says, a company declares 8% dividend to shareholders. Okay, so rate of dividend is given. So a man receives this much as his dividend. So dividend is given. You need to find nominal values of his shares. Okay, so let's see how to do this. So whatever is given, I've just noted down. Okay, now I'm going to call my nominal value of shares to be rupees x. Okay, now 8% of x. Okay, 8% of x. Now nominal value is this much, right? And 8% of this is nothing but my total dividend which I receive, yes or no? Okay, so that's why from here we'll calculate the value of x, and which turns out to be this much. So that's why my nominal value of shares is rupees 35,500. Let me repeat once again. Rate of dividend is given, total dividend is given. They're asking nominal value, and we know that dividend is calculated on nominal value. Okay, so 8% of nominal value gives me total dividend, which is nothing but 2,840. Okay, so solve it and find the value of x, which is nothing but my nominal value. Okay, so pause the video to note down. Next question is, how much should a man invest in rupees 100 shares? So rupees 100 shares means 100 rupees 100 is my nominal value, selling at this much. That means this is my market value, to obtain annual income of this much. So this is my annual income. If the dividend declared is 12%. So rate of dividend is given. So whatever is given, I have just noted down. Okay, now rate of dividend is given to 12%, right? So we are expected to get total investment, because how much the man is investing means we need to find the investment. Okay, and there's a formula which calculates money invested. So this is given by number of shares into market value. So let us see what are the things which are given to us. So market value is already available with us, so we don't have number of shares. So let us calculate number of shares. Now number of shares can be calculated from here, because this formula contains number of shares. Okay, and to calculate number of shares, let us see rate of dividend given. Yes, it is given. Face value is given. Yes, it is given. Annual income, is it given? Yes, this is also given. So we'll put the value of annual income to be this much. Number of shares, we'll take this to be X. Rate of dividend is given to be 12%, and face value is given to be 100. So if I do that, then we can find the value of X. So this percentage can be written as 1 by 100. So after that, if I do cross multiplication, I'll get the value X to be 140. So X, that is number of shares, is also available with us. Now we need to find money invested. So my number of shares is 140 and market value is given to be 110. So if I do that, then I'll get my answer to be 15,400. So pause the video to note down. Okay, so question 7 is similar to 6, so you will do by yourself. Next question. A man buys 400. So this clearly says that this 400 is number of shares. 20 rupee shares. So 20 rupee share means my nominal value or face value is rupees 20 at a premium of rupees 4. So if my premium is 4, then my market value is going to be 20 plus 4. Yes, and rate of dividend is given to be 12%. Okay, so whatever is given, I have just noted down. Okay, now question says find the amount invested. So amount invested, that is total investment, is given by number of shares into market value. Okay, so money invested is number of shares into market value. So number of shares is 400 and market value is given to be 24. So 400 into 24 gives me this much. So my money invested is rupees 9,600. Okay, next is total income. Okay, so total income means annual income, or dividend also we can call it. So annual income is calculated using this formula. So we have number of shares given. Yes, so number of shares is 400. Rate of dividend is also given. Face value is also given. So when I put the values, then my answer will be 960. You will do the skipped steps by yourself. Okay, so in between these two some steps will come, so you will do those steps by yourself. Now the last one is rate of return. So question says rate of or percentage of return on his money means rate of return, which is given by this formula. So what is annual income? Annual income is this much. And what is investment? Investment is this much. So you put the values and do the simplification. Your answer will be 10%. Okay, so pause the video to note down. Okay, so the next problem, number 9. A man buys, again this is 400 is my number of shares, 20 rupees shares. Again question same, but here instead of premium there is a discount. Okay, and there is a return percentage given to you. Okay, so you need to calculate amount invested and rate of dividend. So as usual I am writing whatever is given to us. Now face value is 20 or nominal value is 20, and to calculate my market value we need to subtract the discounted amount. Okay, so my market value is going to be 20 minus 20% of rupees 20, so which gives me rupees 16. So this is my market value. Now amount invested, we need to calculate that. Okay, so amount invested is given by number of shares into market value. So what is number of shares? It is 400, and what is market value? It is 16. So put the values, your answer will be rupees 6,400. Now it is given that rate of return is 12%. Now let us see what is the formula which contains rate of return. Okay, so to calculate the rate of dividend, we have got this formula with us. which contains rate of dividends. Okay, so to calculate rate of dividends we need annual income. So is it given, annual income? No. Yes. Is it given? No, it is not given. Number of shares? Yes, we have number of shares. And do we have face value? Yes, this is also available. So we don't have annual income with us. Okay, so as of now we have not made use of this rate of return. Now the formula which contains rate of return is this one. Yes, now in this, let's see, do we have annual income? Yes, and if we find annual income from here and substitute here, then we'll be able to calculate rate of dividend. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so instead of rate of return I am writing this one, because rate of return is equals to this one, so that's why I'm writing this out there. Okay, equals to 12%. So put the value for investment to be rupees 6,400. Okay, do the cancellation and find what is your annual income. Okay, so put your annual income here, number of shares and face value, you'll get your rate of dividend. So you will complete by yourself. Okay, so the last problem for the day. A company with 1,000 shares, so number of shares is given to be 1,000, of rupees 100 each, means face value is rupees 100, and declares annual dividend of 5%. That means rate of dividend is 5%. Question is asking total amount of dividend paid by the company. Okay, so annual income or dividend is given by this formula, right? So do we have number of shares? Yes. Do we have a rate of dividend? Yes. Do we have face value? Yes. So just put the values, your answer will be this much. Now this is my first answer. Okay, in the second question they have changed the number of shares. Okay, so instead of 1,000 you are going to put 72 and you will calculate that second part by yourself. Okay, so let us directly go to the third part. So if he received only 4% of his investment, okay, that means profit is 4%, find the price he paid for each share. Okay, so that means they are asking what is the market value. Okay, so total dividend is how much? 4%. Total dividend means total profit is 4% of his investment. Yes. Okay, now what is total dividend? Total dividend or annual income is rupees 50,000. Okay, and 4% of his investment. Now we don't know what is the investment, so from here we'll calculate the investment, which turns out to be this much. Okay, so now money invested equals to this formula is available with us, right? Okay, now our aim is to find what is the market value, as I said earlier. Okay, so money invested is this much, number of shares is this much. Okay, now we'll calculate the market value. So if I do that, then my market value is going to be money invested by, this goes to the denominator, that is number of shares, that is money invested is this much and number of shares is this much. So do the cancellation, you'll get rupees 125. So your market value is rupees 125. So pause the video to note down. Thank you very much.